Back when I was like 9, my school held a project for the students to create their own storybook, and me, as the normal child that I was, made a story about a missing newborn. Yeah, a tale of mystery filled with plot twists, a world building that isn't confusing at all written and illustrated by yours truly. And today I'll tell this fantastic story to you guys while I redraw the illustrations I made with the skill that I have today. This is not a redesign video, this is not a rewrite video, the story is perfect as it is, and if you think the opposite, you're wrong. Obviously. So we're starting by redrawing the cover of the book, which is a yellow crib filled with question marks all around it. While it would be very easy to go the creepy, empty crib way, I wanted to keep the red question marks, and I went for a little bit of a comic book kind of deal. There isn't much of a change between the original and the redraw, except for the perspective, because I wanted to focus on the fact that the crib is empty, even though I'm sure that the crib being distant would also kind of work, thinking about it now. But anyways, this is the cover. We have a story to tell, let's keep going. So this is the first illustration for the first page of the book, which is an introduction to our two main characters. Hold on, let me get their names. Wait a second. I'm getting the book. Why did I not have it open already? Katja and Carlos. I picked the most eccentric name for the girl and the most common name for the boy. Someone is a favorite child. So now I shall read, or at least translate from my mother language, the first page of this book. Once upon a time there were two siblings, Katja and Carlos. Their mother, Edna, was pregnant with another child, leaving both of them very excited, but also discussing a lot. The baby's gonna be a girl, and we're gonna end you in the fights. We will be stronger. Their father, William, was a mage and gave them both the power of creation so they could play together. But everything he could get was fights between both of them. None of that, it's gonna be a boy and you're gonna lose and everything. When William and Edna came back from the hospital, the baby was unwrapped in a towel? I don't know. Of the kind for the mother to hold the baby, sparkling curiosity in the siblings. So this is the first page. The illustration is basically just to establish the characters with designs that I definitely followed throughout the entire story, no inconsistencies at all. The only major change I did on the redraw was Carlos's pose, because on the original one, they're both with the same body language, right? They're both being sassy. And I wanted them to act in different ways. So Carlos is a little bit more loud and I guess childish. Both of them are very childish, but you know. And the girl, she tries to act like the mature one. She is a little bit more mature than Carlos. We'll get to that eventually. But yeah, for an illustration, I'm not very proud of this drawing. But again, younger me made a white background, I have to make a white background, those are the rules. No redesign or rewrite here, nah. But the show must go on, let's keep going. We're at the next illustration for the second page of the book, and oh boy did this drawing give me trouble. I feel like I should add a flashing lights warning for this one because things got a bit crazy. It's not too much, but still, just a heads up. Anyways, let's read this page. I'm already frustrated with you, Katja said angrily. You keep saying this silliness. The baby's a boy, the baby's a boy, how silly. Girl. Lightning fight. The lightning fight was a fight in which one tried to hit the other with rays of light. Why did I have to explain lightning fight? Who announces the kind of fight they're having? The fight was ugly. Usually the conflict was quick, but this time it was different. Sparks came out through all directions. The garden was noisy and messy, just enough for Edna to step in and put an end to the situation. Could you two not fight for only one day? The baby is gone and I need you to. I love the fact that the baby having disappeared is nothing but a minor inconvenience to her. I made it sound like it's such a minor inconvenience. So yeah, for the illustration, I changed the perspective a lot because I wanted to focus on the characters. And since they were using lightning to fight, in the lightning fight, I decided to represent their powers visually. Like I made little bolts of lightning in their hands, I turned their irises to this light blue without pupils, and I kept a bit of the destruction I wanted to show in the first drawing when I was younger. Also, honorable mention to this destruction thingy. They chopped the tree down. I took some liberties with their expressions because in the first drawing they're just looking up, like are they sad? Are they worried? What's going on here? Oh no, our brother is missing? You mean our sister? Before they could start their bickering again, Edna protested. Just go help the baby already. I don't have powers and your father passed his down to you. You're the only ones that can help. Because apparently police officers don't exist in this world. It was decided. Katya and Carlos were going to save their new sibling. Before heading off, Edna said some words of advice. Remember what you're going to do. Find the baby and take them away from the claws of who kidnapped him. Easier said than done, said both siblings in unison. So yeah, not much to say here. I changed the positions of the eyes just so it's not too symmetric. And yeah, let's keep going. Okay, now this is where it gets weird. Weirder than it already was. But I'm not gonna say anything. You guys are gonna see for yourselves. After Katya found out the address of the kidnapper, somehow, both of them went in search of their sibling. For their surprise, the house seemed nice. It doesn't look that bad, Carlos said. When they entered, they saw a kid in a crib. Yeah, it's a boy, Carlos celebrated. Now it's not the time for us to discuss, Katya warned. Let's just take the baby away and... Kidnappers! The owner of the house screamed. The fight was tough, but it was possible to have won if it wasn't for Kitty, the cat from Otag, which is gato backwards, which means cat. The cat from Otag could fly and repel opponents by meowing. What are we going to do now? Carlos asked. I have an idea, Katya said. The plan was as follows. While Carlos distracted Kitty, Katya would go in a machine that she created with the power of creation to another world called Oak. I have two things to say about this passage. One, these children are gods. They're just way too OP. And second, Oak is cão, backwards, which means dog. The palm tree festival was on place at that time, which means whoever could climb up one of the palm trees could bring a dog home. The dogs from Oak could change sizes to pass through wherever they wanted, and their barks were able to scare anyone. Giant lines were formed left and right to try and climb those palm trees. Many people fell, tripped, and slipped. But when Katya's turn arrived, a miracle, she did it. Now I'll win this fight, said Katya when she came back. This entire page feels like a fever dream, and somehow this redraw is my favorite of all of these. What I did here was change her expression to a confident one instead of just happy, because she had a goal in mind and she did it. She wasn't there just for funsies. And also I made her crouch while on the palm tree because it would just make sense. Not that this entire situation makes sense, but I tried to at least add something. Also, my brain decided to make this hair way more detailed than I usually do, which I love. I'll probably keep doing hair like this. And now, let's read the last page of this wonderful story. What's going on here? The wife of the kidnapper said. Auntie Emily? Carlos recognized. Uncle Jonathan, Katya said, following the train of thought of the brother. Yes, you must be Katya and Carlos. I brought your brother here so he could play with your cousin. We have to tell our mother, Carlos remembered. And that's what happened. Oh dear, I've been so forgetful these days. Me and Emily talked about this the other day. And thus, our story comes to an end with Edna acting all silly and goofy, almost as if she didn't treat the baby having disappeared as a minor inconvenience. Not much to say about the drawing itself. I used my new hair technique again, and I don't know why bust shots are so difficult to me. Like, full bodies are better than just drawing the face. it keeps the proportions in check. Every time I do one of those, I have to adjust the head like a million times until it feels right because it's so... Hey, thanks for watching it this far. If you liked this video, you can show that you did by pressing the like button. Isn't that crazy? While you're there, you should consider subscribing as well. It would help me out a lot. And yeah, until we meet again.